In the next half an hour, we're talking rubbish everywhere. The northeast highways are a dumping ground for a mountain of litter.
400 kilograms, just short of half a tonne, and that's just off one side of the road.
A 1 mile stretch of road.
1 mile stretch of road.
That's extraordinary, isn't it?
And there's litter on the mountains. Mike Dilger is watching his step in the Lake District.
That's disgusting. I don't want the camera to see too closely. And suffice to say, there's a lot of human faeces. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
How about something truly picturesque? I'm on a trip with the inspirational Jo Milne to capture northern landscapes you said she must see before she loses her sight. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Get ready to look ahead. Now.
All right. Yes. Brilliant.
I'm Chris Jackson, and this is Inside Out. You know when you see something that really makes your blood boil? Well, a former MP of ours gets hot under the collar every time he gets in his car. For Chris Mullins, it's not road rage, it's litter rage.
My drive home. Recently, one thing's really been getting my goat.
You pass mile after mile of litter. Bottles, cans, plastic bags, much of which has been lying there all year.
I am naming and shaming some of the North's worst rubbish black spots. I want to know just how badly littered our roads are and ask what's being done about it. First things first.
I want to find out who's responsible for clearing the litter on the verges of the roads in our region. And I've got a document here called the Highways Agency Litter Strategy, which contains a very helpful map.
Basically, these bits of the A1 and A19 are the responsibility of the Highways Agency, which has just changed its name to Highways England. But on these bits of the same roads, it's up to local councils to pick up litter. So what if some are better at doing it than others? Helen Whittle uses the A19 in North Tyneside every day.
It makes me feel a bit depressed to live in this area, and particularly this winter I felt very embarrassed and ashamed of this area, and I didn't really want any visitors to come.
I've enlisted Helen's help to do some investigating, up close.
Helen and I are in the undergrowth just off the A19. Wow! Woohoo!
Do you think that's from the road?
I don't think these have come from vehicles. It's clearly come from local youth who've been canning themselves stupid here over a period of years.
Further along the path.
Now, what do you think of this, Helen?
I think it's pretty shocking.
The lay-bys are really bad.
There's a towel there and a T-shirt, which perhaps got left behind by accident.
There's a car tyre.
There's been about half a dozen plastic bags of goodness knows what, just tipped over the fence.
Here, litter is North Tyneside Council's responsibility. Helen's campaigning like me, so she contacted the council, but she didn't hear back. So I tried. They told me they clean the A19 once a year.
The fact that it's allowed to lie so long suggests that it's not a very high priority. And it also suggests, I think, a certain low esteem, which is a pity in a region that wants to sell itself as a great tourist attraction.
Traffic management says we've got to go now. Both lanes on the slower lane side are shut off.
Tourism's especially important here in Northumberland.
Our greatest asset is the environment, so we have to make sure the shop front is as good as it can be.
This year, the County Council has launched a litter offensive, and today they're blitzing a 1 mile stretch near Ashington. I'll be back later to see how much they pick up. But if roads aren't being cleaned enough, it turns out we can take action. Peter Silverman is a one-man campaign. He took on Highways England and won.
I researched the law and realised that you could You apply for something called a litter abatement order, i.e. an instruction from the court telling them to clean it up.
That's because whoever's responsible for a bit of road has a legal duty to keep it clean. Or they are breaking the law. Peter now runs a national campaign called Clean Highways.
I'm seen as a major nuisance, particularly by Highways England, I'm afraid.
Highways England does have a legal responsibility to clear litter from its network, but it contracts out that responsibility to a whole range of companies who behave differently, report differently, and it's very difficult, seemingly, to hold those companies to account.
Highways England have quite a number of contractors working for us across the country, and we have our performance measuring systems to make sure that our contractors are performing. We are very keen to try and keep the network looking as tidy as we can.
But across the country, Peter Silverman thinks some contractors do a better job than others. So today, he's proving a point. A messy slip road next to the depot of the company paid to clean it.
We're literally 3 minutes walk from the contractor's depot, so why can't they come out with a litter picker and a black bag and pick it up? And I think that's what I'll do myself now.
Very good.
What would it take, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I filled my bag up with rubbish. I'm now going to go to the contractor and ask him if he'll take it off me.
Hello.
Oh, hello there, hi. I've just picked up I would certainly say I have an obsession. Full of rubbish. My wife certainly thinks I do.
Yeah, I'll send somebody down.
Thank you very much.
The contractor, paid by Highways England, says it regularly litter picks on this slip road. In fact, twice within a fortnight after we filmed. So while Peter takes on the contractor in his area, I'm turning my attention to the A1 in Gateshead.
Right, we've crossed the frontier now. We're now in Gateshead territory. Well, I'm told the situation here is worse than in Northumberland and in Newcastle. We shall see.
Here, they pick up litter once a year. We're filming just after the clean-up should have taken place, and this is what we saw.
Gateshead aren't particularly keen to discuss how they deal with litter. It's a serious problem for them and they probably lack resources, but I do think they need to be open about what they can and can't do.
But I do want some answers. 4 days ago I wrote to Gateshead's press officer.
I'm going to just send him a short follow-up saying anyone at home.
The gentle nudge did the trick and Gateshead responded. They said they clean their bit of the A1 once a year, but this year they've only done 40% because of roadworks. It's made me think that maybe councils just can't afford to clean up anymore, and we assume it's their job.
Part of it's cultural too. I was walking through a park in the centre of Sunderland once, and a woman in front of me chucked away a bottle or a plastic cup or something just onto the ground, and her reply was, "Someone's paid to pick it up."
I wonder what the council workers in Northumberland would have to say about that.
Still plenty of work to do, even if we weren't doing this. So other work's getting left while we're doing this, you know. So.
Today, a surprise. A whole living room dumped.
Fly tipping, someone's obviously chanced their arm. We can't clean up a nice road like this and leave a big pile of furniture at the side, so it's tough, but you've got to do it.
In Northumberland, perhaps it looks a little better because they litter pick twice a year.
When you cross into other local authority areas where it's only done once a year, it's truly shocking by about December, January, February. How much did you pick up?
It was 400 kilograms, just short of half a tonne, and that's just off one side of the road.
A 1 mile stretch.
1 mile stretch of road.
That's extraordinary, isn't it?
Amazing.
I didn't realise how bad actually the litter is. My faith in human nature has just plummeted when I've seen how some of the sites.
Never mind. Somebody might do something one day.
What would you like to see done?
People find more.
I know it's hard to prove, but do you have successful prosecutions?
Last year We issued 217 fixed penalty notices. That's a £50 fine for people that were actually just littering.
But only 6 of those were for littering from vehicles.
So what have we learned? Well, firstly, that there's truly shocking levels of litter and other waste, and secondly, that organising clearing it up is a great deal more complicated than you would imagine. What would I do about it? I'd pick it up more often. That's actually quite an expensive solution, but it's the only way, and if you care about how it looks, then you've got to do it more often.
Or better still, we need to stop littering in the first place.